Hi and welcome back to MeshCommander. In this video I will demonstrate a login system for all GPS records that exist on all nodes which are discovered. MeshCommander will analyze all the nodes that do pop up and populated in a node itself. That information can be not just collected but accumulated. Just show you now. If we go into the logs now, please check out my previous videos because I'll explain more about MeshCommander, because MeshCommander for Meshtastic Devices is a very powerful tool. So what we have here, this applies to version 1.02 because it has frequent update ability to all discovered nodes. So I'm in the logs folder here of MeshCommander, and there's a file discovered nodes. Okay, so if I go into discovered nodes now, just to just show you. So these are all the discovered nodes, and it will take as much data as possible for location. So what we've got here, we've got the node name, you've got the short, long name, and you've got GPS data as well. So you connect your node up, you just leave it run, and it'll just automatically collect that information. So what MeshCommander is frequently update this log file, and with plugin scripts you can strip all the information out of here and store it. Is quite interesting. So what it will do is collect all the GPS data from a node. It'll literally track a node. So if you're on a go and you've got GPS set up for your node, it'll track every movement. Now this is a concern because of privacy. So what I want to do is I want to make people aware about GPS, and it could be used against you. So if you've got mobile nodes, just be very careful, because other people are picking up on that data. First of all, it's publicly broadcasted, but what MeshCommander in this case can do with a plugin script, it will log every movement. So you really have to be aware. There's one thing on a static node with your GPS and your location, that's one thing. But if you're on the go, people can work out patterns, and if people just run it, so you can, frequent patterns where you come and go in. So yeah, just be aware, because it is quite a serious thing, and probably big tech companies do the same thing, and we're not even aware of whether that data is actually sold. This is something that we don't really know. Another thing to point out, is like I covered earlier, people can analyze patterns. So yeah, disable GPS. Now, it can be harmless, but remember, just be aware of these things. But it can be useful. Check out signal strengths by analyzing data. So if you're on the move, if you've got your node with you and GPS enabled, whether through your phone or as a GPS built into the device, it could be handy walking around certain areas, and you go back to the logs on your node which is running MeshCommander, and you can see what areas are picking up signal strength, because automatically you'll be broadcasting that information back. And remember, you can change the settings in Meshtastic to have more frequent GPS updates. So you could have it say every 30 seconds reporting your GPS location, and something like this additional script which you bolt onto MeshCommander, it'll just accumulate all the all that information to logs. So I mean, it can be useful for projects, whether it be weather balloon, or say if you've got a boat and you want to put one of these Meshtastic devices on with GPS enabled, then yeah, great. It could be a good project. It could be a walker tracker, and for safety concerns, you may want to broadcast out your location, just in case, say if you walk in an area which could be potentially dangerous. At least that information can be broadcasted out, especially if someone is aware that you're going to be in some area, and just keeping a note of your location. So yeah, it can be used for a good purpose. So what I've got here, and I will make these scripts available for people who donate to this project. I remember this applies to version 1.02, which is for the Raspberry Pi. I may do other versions depending on the request for x86 Linux, maybe Windows as well. Depends how people donate. So like I said, this discovered nodes file will get updated very frequently. So I'm just going back to, what I've got here is my Linux desktop, and I've just remoted in to the Raspberry Pi. You can physically do it on the Raspberry Pi, but I find it's quite convenient. So I've created a folder under my scripts called track all, and in here there are 2 scripts. And remember, you have to make sure that if you are downloading them, make sure that they are executable. So you can do chmod 777 space and start.sh and give full permissions on those. That's a quick one to do it. So if I were to run track all now, well, that will go through that file I showed you earlier on, discovered nodes. It'll go through each node, and it will record the GPS. And so you just leave this run, and you can forget about it. Just leave it run unless you reboot your Raspberry Pi, or you could automate it if you wanted to. So that's it. I'll just keep on accumulating. So where I've dumped the logs, and you can change the location, you can edit those 2 scripts to output the logs to wherever you want. So in the logs, I've created a folder called GPS, and ls, I'll just list by time, and I'll just wipe out to more, so it'll pause. So all these files, so individually you've got log files for each one. Okay. So you've got the journey GPS log and the node name, and that will contain all the information, any changes here, and you can see by the size of the logs, like this one here. Yeah, this person is been doing the rounds. So, and that's just recording any information that it can accept back, because it's obviously broadcasting, and obviously his other ones as well. So, and that's it. So what you can actually do then is you could take one of these files and just look at the data. So what I'll do now is let's have a look. So let's have a look at this one. So we got I'll go back to the screen. You've got a map on the right hand side here. I'll explain that in a bit further. So I just want to make sure I pick up the right log file, because I know some of this data can be sensitive. So let's have a look at this. So I know this one is okay to look at. So cat, all I'm doing is just basically reading this file. So a little bit slow. I think I got problems with my network connecting to my Pi. Kind of got my Raspberry Pi next to me, but the router's downstairs, and I don't think a signal strength is absolutely brilliant yet. Oops. Yeah, right. Okay, eventually got through. That should have been instant anyway. So, right, there we are. So what we've got here is the GPS information just gathered, and it will not store duplicate. So it's completely new GPS locations. Otherwise, if you just let it accumulate, you'd have massive logs. So it's just specific to changes in GPS location. You can change the frequency of how, if I go back to, I'll stop the script running, and if I go back to logs, oops, oh, sorry, not logs, config I wanted, and in there's a file called config. You can change how frequently it'll update that file. So yeah, 60 seconds, 1 minute, that's okay. You can do less than that, just play around with the setting. So there we go. So there we are. So this is the information which is collected. Now what you can do is you can copy that information, which I've done earlier on, into a text file called GPS data. So all I've done is just cut and paste this here over to here, and I've given it these headings so that I've got a Python script. I'm going to Thorny, which is Python. So I've got this little program here, just run it, and there we are. So all that information is just plotted out here. So you've got the time, you've got the lat long, and you've got a short name and node ID. So yeah, so you've got a pattern. So in this case, this node is traveling in this direction, judging by the time, and you can see that's on the motorway. Okay, so someone's traveling on the motorway here. All right. So, and that's one part of it. So I'll show you something else. So if we go back to logs, and so if you do a command, say cat g start dot txt, and I'd put that to all dot txt. Oops. and a double arrow because it'll just keep on appending. So if you cat in fact I need to probably, because there was something I looked at earlier on, which just in case I don't want anything causing a problem on the data. Yeah. Just remove this one because that was incomplete, because it hasn't got the proper node name. Just remove that. And let's remove that all.txt. I'll redo it again. Okay. So it's gather all the information from those logs and compile it to 1. And that's done. So if I do cat, so I'm going to read it all .txt. So this information here, let's copy it and let's go back to this folder. So that GPS data, let's get rid of this here, delete that and paste it. Oh, missed off the 5. I thought that was the case. So I'm going to save that now. And then let's go back to this little Python script. Let's run that. And there we are. So that's everything. So everything has been picked up, has been mapped here. And you can just zoom in. I'll try not to hover too closely over. So it basically shows all the locations, and say if we zoom in, so we've got someone on this section here walking around. You can see this is a mobile person, so there we are. Yeah, it just goes to show how powerful this is for collecting information. So yeah, it's quite interesting information what is picked up and is presented in this nice form. Yeah, so yeah, please like and subscribe, and donate to this project. If you donate, you'll get an extended version which doesn't time out. The scripts which I've shown you today available for people who have donated to this project. Well, thank you very much, and I hope you find this very useful, and just be aware if you're using GPS and you frequently broadcasting out, is it okay? Have you got any concerns about it? Because as fantastic as GPS is, it can be used against us, but it can be great at the same time. So yeah, well, thank you very much, and ta-da.